Good evening, everyone. My name is Catherine from SEB Housing, and tonight we're going to run the lottery for the 2 townhomes located at Blueberry Hill Estates in Melrose. We're going to get the lottery underway in just a few moments. First, I just want to mention that if you have any questions during this session, you're encouraged to go ahead and either type them into the chat on the YouTube meeting here, or you can unmute yourself. When you came into the meeting, you were automatically muted just to minimize any outside noise. This session is also being recorded, and it's going to be posted to SEB Housing's YouTube channel after tonight in case anybody wants to review it that wasn't able to join. First, before the drawings, just want to give you some background information on the lottery itself, the next step after tonight, and all of that. All this information will also be provided in the email that is sent after the lottery, but just want to give you some background info. So this lottery is for 2 affordable homes, 2 affordable condos that are available to applicants with household incomes at or below 80% of the area median income. There's 1 townhome that is a 2-bedroom, 3.5-bath unit, and then the other townhome is a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home. We received a total of 143 completed applications for the lottery, so there are going to be 143 total households in the lottery. 22 households indicated that they had local preference, so they either reported that they live or work full-time within Melrose. 111 of the 143 households qualify for the 2-bedroom lottery, and 95 applicants qualify for the 3-bedroom lottery, or drawing, I should say. All households should have already been sent their lottery application number. So that was the number that was in the form of A.001, for example, all the way up to A.143 in this case. If you don't have that number, if you misplaced it, let me know. That is the number that's going to be in the drawing tonight. We won't be calling out or drawing individual names for privacy purposes. So back when you completed your lottery application, you will have indicated and we will have confirmed your household type. And your household is either type 1, 2, or 3. So you want to keep in mind that for the 2-bedroom waiting list, type 2 and type 3 households are going to have priority over type 1 households. And then for the 3-bedroom home, type 3 households are going to have priority on that waiting list. And that's because the affordable housing program is designed so that smaller households do not have priority for larger units that they may not require, or that their family may not require. The email that you received from SEB Housing with your lottery application number confirmed your household type. So that was some of the information that was already on there. There's also local preference for one of the affordable homes. That's the 3-bedroom townhome. So if you answered yes to local preference on the lottery application and you qualified for the 3-bedroom lottery, you will have preference on that waiting list. Just keep in mind, anyone who indicated that they have local preference, you haven't submitted verification of that just yet. So you will be required after the lottery, if you're one of the top households on the waiting list, you will be required at that point to provide verification that you either reside or work full-time in Melrose. And that will come along with all of the income and asset documentation that you'll need to submit. So when the drawing takes place tonight, you're not going to know exactly where you stand on the waiting list because of what I just mentioned. There are different priorities that we still have to sort after tonight. So even if you're first in the drawing tonight, that doesn't mean that you're first on the waiting list. The waiting list will be sent to you hopefully by tonight, if not by tomorrow morning. And again, that's because we need to sort those results, taking the priorities into consideration, the household types, and then also the local preference. So I see I have a couple chats here. I think some people need their number. And Okay, so it looks like, Adrian, if you're working with Beatrice, then looks like she might be all set, but Viviana, let me look you up real quick before I just move on here. I will look you up in the database. Just give me one moment. I'm going to send you a reply here with your number. All right. So there's going to be 2 drawings tonight. And since there are so many applicants, I'm going to be using a website called random.org. We do this for our larger lotteries. It's a little more transparent. I'll share my screen so you can see it happening. First is going to be the local preference drawing, and that is going to include the households who indicated that they either live or work full-time in Melrose. There were 22 applicants who have local preference. I'm going to insert those application numbers into a list randomizer on this website. I'm going to show you an example of that in just a second. And then random.org, the website, will digitally generate a random order. So we're doing it this way to try to keep the results truly as random as possible, rather than me having you sit on the call for a while I grab 143 numbers out of a box. And after that local preference drawing, where I'll just be pulling those 22 numbers, after the local preference drawing, I will insert all of the 143 lottery application numbers into the list randomizer, and again, generate that order. The randomization of those lottery numbers is going to be instantaneous, so you're going to see the results of the drawing right away on your screen. I'll scroll through them for you so you can find your application number on there. If you don't see it, I can help you out. But again, none of the results you see tonight aren't the final results. We still have to create those waiting lists. So real quick, I'm going to show you how that's going to work for anybody on a computer right now, or at least with a screen that you'll be able to view this. Just a real quick example before we do the actual drawing. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about with this random.org. So this is the website, random.org. I just went to it. I'm going to use the list randomizer function here. So if I put in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's going to be many more numbers, obviously, when I'm doing the actual drawing, because you'll have all the lottery numbers in there. If I click randomize, it's going to spit out a random order. So it should be a truly random order of the numbers. In this case, lottery number 5 was the first number. Again, this isn't the drawing. This is just an example of how it's going to look. So when I put these in here, it will say, the first one was A dot, a series of numbers. That'll actually look like your lottery application number. So I'm going to stop sharing right now, but that is what how the drawing will take, the 2 drawings will take place tonight. So you'll see that again in just a minute when I have the actual lottery numbers in the list randomizer. So again, the lottery results from tonight are going to be sorted and the waiting list will be created. Those waiting lists will then be attached to an email that everyone who is entered into the lottery will receive either tonight or tomorrow morning. And when you receive that email with the waiting list, you'll notice that the top few households on each waiting list are going to be highlighted in green. And that's because those top lottery households are going to be sent a separate notice from SEB Housing, asking them to provide the necessary income, asset, tax documentation that hasn't yet been submitted. That will be required from the top households so we can confirm whether or not you are eligible for the affordable housing program. And so each household, you want to keep in mind, was entered into the lottery based on your self-reported application. So the information that you have on your application hasn't yet been verified. You haven't needed to provide verification of your employment, pay stubs, anything like that, taxes, for example. And so if you are, after tonight, invited to move forward, you'll be required to supply all of that documentation within about a week to 10 days. A documentation requirements guide or a link to it was sent to you back when you received your lottery application number in that email. That documentation requirements guide spells out in detail the supporting documents that we're going to be requesting from those top lottery households. So hopefully some of you have already been able to start gathering that information, or at the very least, you know what we may be asking from you. So just want to be sure everyone understands this lottery is an important step in the process, but it's not the final step in the process. There's still a few more steps to go. Even if you are one of the top households on the waiting list, after this drawing, you're not guaranteed a chance to purchase one of the townhomes. You'll first need to verify your income and asset information with SCB Housing to confirm your eligibility for the program. There's going to be 6 households on each waiting list that are highlighted, and that will be 12 households total on the waiting list that are highlighted in green. You might wonder why we're going to invite 12 households forward to submit documentation when there's only 2 townhomes. We're going to be doing that because we want to be sure that the process isn't delayed by us screening only the top households from each waiting list at a time. It is possible that the first person on each waiting list is found eligible for the program, they submit all of the documentation to us, and they eventually purchase the home. If that's the case, then there are going to be some people who submitted documentation to us that were approved for the program, but didn't have the opportunity to purchase the home. Usually that's not the case. Usually it's not the top 2 people who buy the home, but it is possible. So just keep in mind, again, we're going to be inviting more people forward than there are available homes to purchase. And again, the reason we're doing that is because in our experience, there's often households who do not provide all the necessary information. Maybe they don't qualify after the fact, or they have a change of heart. They're no longer interested in purchasing the home. If you are not one of those top households highlighted in green on the waiting list, you won't be moving forward at this time. However, you might be contacted at a later date if those ahead of you on the waiting list drop off, meaning they are not interested or not eligible after we do that review. Okay, so I see there's one question here. How many type 2 households are there, and how many type 2 and type 3, excuse me. Yeah, all of that information is going to be on the lottery night documentation that I send out to you, but let me pull it up so I can tell you now. So for the 2-bedroom condo, which does not have local preference on that waiting list, there were 70 type 2 households, type 2 and 3. They have the same priority on that waiting list for the 2-bedroom. There were 41 type 1 households. For the 3-bedroom condo, there were 60 type 3 households, 24 type 2 households, and 11 type 1 households. And there were 11 households who qualify for local preference on that 3-bedroom waiting list. All right, any other questions before I start the drawing? I'm going to share my screen again so you can see the drawing actually take place. The first drawing is going to be that local preference drawing. And I'll be drawing those numbers in order to establish the priority on the local preference waiting list among these local preference households. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again here. Pull up the correct moment. here. So I have a spreadsheet that has all of the local preference households lottery application numbers, because those are the only numbers that are going to be in this first drawing. Share my screen. This is a document I'm talking about here. So there are 22 households or lottery application numbers here. It goes down to column or to row 23 because of the header here. So there's 22 numbers here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy all of them and put them into that list randomizer that I just shared with you a few minutes ago. I'm going to screen share it, take a minute to make sure that I have the results. I'm pasting them in here. This is just the order that I'm submitting them. And then when I click randomize, this is going to be the local preference drawing. These are only the 22 households who indicated that they have local preference. There's only 11 households who actually qualify for the 3-bedroom unit that has local preference. So I'm clicking randomize, and this is the result of the local preference drawing. You're going to be able to see this in just a minute. I'm just copying, this way. I'm copying the numbers. I'm going to put them into the order drawn here, so we have record of them. And after I do the second drawing, oops, I copied them into the wrong cell there, just a minute. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do the other drawing, and then I will be able to scroll through so you're able to see your number. All right, so just bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to just make sure I have this timestamped. Save the results. And then I'm going to go on to the general drawing. I'm going to click fully out of it. Okay, so these are the results for the local preference drawing. You should be able to see most of them on your screen here. Actually, yeah, you can see them all on your screen. I'm going to hide this, no longer relevant. This is the order that those local preference households were drawn. Not everyone on this list applied for or was eligible for the 3-bedroom home, which is the only waiting list that will have local preference or local preference from priority. But if you are someone who applied for a 3-bedroom and you see your number at the top of the list here, that means you could have a pretty good placement on that 3-bedroom waiting list. So I'm going to move on now to, I have just another tab here with everybody's lottery number. So this is the lottery application numbers 1 through 143. I'm going to put all of these into the list randomizer now, and that will be the general drawing of everyone's number. Again, I'm going to copy and paste all of these, and I will let you see the results, obviously, so you'd be able to see where you were drawn. Although, again, all of these results haven't been sorted yet. All right, 143 numbers in here, randomized. This is a general drawing for Blueberry Hill. Again, I'm going to take all of these results and put them into the spreadsheet so you'll be able to see it a little better, and just so we are able to scroll through. I did it again, just 1 minute. Bear with me. Save that screenshot, and then I will scroll through these. Okay, so again, this is the local drawing right here. So I'm gonna leave that on your screen. Try to make it a little bit bigger. I can scroll down. If you were a local preference household, one of the 22 local preference households, your order drawn is on the left, and then your lottery application number is on the right. So you should be able to see your number somewhere there if you were a local preference household. And I'm going to go over now to the general drawing. Your order drawn, you see right here. First number drawn was 77077, and then it goes down from there. So I'm going to scroll down pretty slowly so you're able to see. Take a minute and look for your number. I'm going to go through it here. I'll scroll back up once if you don't see it, or if you're having trouble finding it, or if you've only called in, you don't see anything on your phone, you can send me a message, and I can look it up for you and let you know where you were drawn. Again, these results are only the lottery drawing results. We still need to sort them based on local priority and household type. So if you're a type 1 household, you will be behind all type 2 and 3 households for these units, since there's a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom unit. So for the 3 bedrooms, type 3 households will have priority, and local preference households as well, and followed by type 2 and type 1. And for the type 2 household, for the type 2, the 2-bedroom townhome, type 3 and type 2 households have priority. Getting to the bottom here, I'm at 120. I'm going to scroll down a little more. Again, this is the general drawing results for Blueberry Hill Estate, 2 townhomes in Melrose. And that's the end there. I'm gonna scroll back up a little bit so you can see the top, in case you missed that. Yep, I just have one request here for the numbers. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Anyone else who wasn't able to see their number that wants me to take a look? These are the results. Again, on your screen is the general drawing, meaning everyone. All 143 applicants are listed here. So do type 1 households get dropped automatically? That's the question that's in the chat right now. No, type 1 households will be on the waiting list. Since this was a popular lottery, there are a number of households that are going to be above any type 1 household. So the only way that a type 1 household will be moving forward, meaning will be asked to submit documentation and potentially purchase the home, will be if everyone ahead of you on the waiting list drops off. So if there's a lot of households who either don't qualify or decide that they no longer want to move forward with purchasing the home, that's really the only way in this case, because of the popularity and the number of applicants, that that a type 1 household will be moving forward, unfortunately. Anyone else who wasn't able to see their number or has a question?
I just logged in because my phone was not downloading Zoom for me.
Sure.
I'm number A122. I believe it is.
So the numbers only go up to 143. I can look. Hold on 1 second here.
Yeah, I have A122.
Oh, A122. I thought you said 8. Sorry. Okay. A122. You were 107th on the general list, and you were not on the local list.
Okay.
Anyone else? Oh, got a couple questions here.
Was the number already chosen for the home?
No, so this is the drawing that allows us to make the waiting list. So we just did the drawing for it, but then we still have to sort the results after tonight. So you'll be getting all the lottery applicants will be getting a email either tonight or tomorrow morning with the waiting list. So you'll be able to see where you actually fall. Your placement on the waiting list might be higher, more favorable than it looks right now during the drawing. It could be lower. It just depends on the different priorities that we need to sort by, which is household type and local preference. Just a couple other people here that would like me to look up the number. Bear with me. Sorry, I'm going to close out of this for a second. It's not liking me. 087 is the number I'm looking up right now. And 087 was 136 on the general drawing. 042 was 133rd on the general drawing, not on the local list. And then I have a direct message here that I'm going to reply to. And then just a couple more here that I'm looking up. So 017 was drawn 80th in the local drawing. 014 was drawn 75th in the local, I'm sorry, in the general drawing. 046 was drawn 77th in the general drawing. What's the difference between local and general? So the local results here are only for those who had indicated that they were local priority or had local preference. And what that means is if you reported that you either live or work full-time in Melrose, you'd be eligible for local priority. You need to provide verification of that after the lottery if you're called forward to the next step, which is to submit your documentation to us, income, asset, and tax documentation. And the open or the general drawing here is everyone. So you don't have to be local preference. That's everyone in the lottery tonight. So 143 applicants are in the general drawing. Just 22 were in the local drawing. The local households are going to be, actually, I shouldn't say it that way. All households are going to be on both waiting lists, but on the local waiting list, local priority waiting list, which is for the 3-bedroom home, local priority is going to be taken into account when we sort the results. So everyone has the same priority and preference depending on household type still for the 2-bedroom home, but for the 3-bedroom home, anyone who qualified for a 3-bedroom for the 3-bedroom waiting list, if you have local priority, you're going to have top preference. You're gonna have the top spots on that waiting list after we do our
I
sorting.
have a question. So how about, I'm sorry, you keep talking about local priority and you said it's just for household, for the 3-bedroom. So how about the 2-bedroom where there is no local priority?
Yep, so that just means that there is no local preference on that waiting list, meaning if you have local preference, you live or work in Melrose, you're not going to necessarily have a higher spot on that waiting list because everyone will have the same priority. It's still going to be based on type, household type.
But was the numbers withdrawn for the 2-bedroom where there is no local priority? Because I'm so confused.
So we're not drawing for individual, when we do these, the lottery drawings, we're not drawing for each bedroom type. We're doing the lottery for all of the homes, and then we're sorting them onto the waiting list, which is going to be for the 2-bedroom or the 3-bedroom. So when you get the results from us after tonight, you're going to know where you fall on the waiting list for either the 2 or the 3-bedroom, or if you applied for both, you'll be on both waiting lists.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I know it's confusing just because the lottery doesn't tell you a whole lot. You can see if you're way at the bottom of the list, or you can see if you're one of the top households, but it doesn't necessarily give you much information tonight in terms of where you're going to be on the waiting list in the end. So in here, just to confirm, local preference needs to only qualify for 3-bedroom. What I'm saying is the local preference households only have priority for the 3-bedroom home. We're not taking any local preference into consideration for the 2-bedroom home. Just have a couple more here that are looking for their placement tonight.
Can you tell me what A6063 ranked in? I can't get my Zoom to work, my picture on my phone.
Yep, just one second. I have one person here that was ahead of you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm just want to try to go in order. So just one more here. All right, what was the number again?
It was A063.
063. Sure, you were drawn 45th in the general line. Yep, no problem.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Anyone who wasn't able to find their number? Here, again, these aren't the results. They're the results of the drawing tonight, the lottery, but they're not the waiting list because we still need to sort these results onto the waiting list, and we'll be doing that. I'll be doing that tonight. So you should have an email from me tonight. If not by tomorrow morning, it will come from info@sdbhousing.com. That's the email address that you'll see it come from. And at that point, you'll be able to see the top households who are highlighted in green. Those are the households who will receive a separate email from us requesting income and asset documentation and tax documentation, etc., to move forward in this process. There's one more here. A129, you were 43rd on the open drawing here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the list. So how about A032?
032. You were drawn 6th in the open drawing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hello, hi, how about 047, please?
047. You were drawn 81st. Anyone else?
Can I know, like, please, the 059?
59.
Yeah.
59. Sure. 59 was drawn 34th.
نقول لها واش عيني تشمست صافي بلاش.
Anyone else? When can we expect an email? So yep, that'll be probably late tonight, if not tomorrow morning at the latest. I'll be sorting the results onto the 2 waiting lists for the 2-bedroom home and the 3-bedroom home. And then in terms of getting that secondary email, if you're one of the top lottery households that's highlighted in green, you can expect that probably tomorrow, because that'll be coming from someone else at SEB Housing to request documentation for the next step in the process for any top households on these waiting lists.
So I have a question. I'm sorry, I'm so slow right now.
No, it's okay.
Just because I'm confused. Okay, so the way this lottery goes, so I was thinking that everyone gets a number and then your number is either picked or not picked and you get the house or you don't get the house. But that's not seeming like that's not how it is.
Right. So everyone is drawn in the lottery. Everybody who applied and was found eligible for the lottery was drawn tonight. So the waiting list will have everyone who qualified for the lottery listed on the waiting list. They'll just have various, spots on the waiting list. So there's going to be someone who's first in line on the waiting list. There's going to be someone who's 143rd.
And does that go based on like the priority as far as the qualifications of the application that was submitted?
Yeah. So the 2-bedroom waiting list is type 3 and type 2 households first, and then type 1 household. The 3-bedroom waiting list is local preference type 3 households, followed by non-local preference 3 households, and so forth. So it goes down the line. That was included on the information packet. I know that not all of you have that in front of you, obviously, but yeah, we sort it by the priorities that were listed in the information packet. So I can pull that up for you if you'd like to see it. So just 1 minute.
So then that would go, so the first person on the waiting list, so I'm type 3 and I was applying for the 3-bedroom. So the localized one's a priority. So let's say there's like someone that's number 1 on the list. They're the ones that's up first for the house. And then if it doesn't go through them, it gets passed down to the next on the list. Is that how that goes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if the first person on the waiting list is found to be not eligible or decides they don't want to buy the home, we go down to the second person and so forth. There's going to be 6 people from each of these waiting lists that are called forward. And obviously only 2 people are going to ultimately purchase the homes because there's only 2 homes available, but we're going to be calling more people forward to move forward to the next step in the process, which is submitting the income documentation. So the waiting list priority, the order in which I'll be sorting these applications is listed on your screen right now. So to give you a better idea of what I'm trying to explain, I know it's kind of abstract when I'm just talking about the local priorities.
Okay. All right. Okay, I understand it more now. I was confused for a second.
Yeah, I know
it's so much.
it's not the easiest thing to try to explain either.
Can I ask one question, please?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm seeing here, I just want to know, just to make sure. So right now, are you all set with the lottery, or you are going to do it tonight and send her the result, or you are all set with the lottery right now?
So the lottery just happened. It was the drawing. The lottery drawing happened, but I still need to sort the priorities based on what you see on your screen right now. So for the lottery drawing that we just did, is everyone is mixed in together. So there's type 1, type 2, type 3 households were just drawn. Households that have local preference were drawn. Households that don't have local preference were drawn. So we still need to make those waiting lists tonight.
Okay, that means for example, the number 1 in the drawing I see here will be, for example, just to say, will be the winner?
Not really. So the top households on the waiting list are going to be asked to move forward in the process, which means you're going to get a separate email if you're one of the top 6 households on each of the waiting lists after we sort them. And if you're one of those top 6 households, you're going to get another email from us that is asking you to provide income, asset, and tax documentation because qualifying you for the affordable housing program is the next step in the process. You were entered into this lottery just based off of what you self-reported on your lottery application. Yeah, so everyone's going to get at least one email from me, from info@stbhousing.com, that's going to have the waiting list attached to them. And then some of you, 12 of you, will get another email requesting that you
Okay,
submit.
so on the waiting list, we are 12 people.
So the waiting list is going to have 143 people on each waiting list, and we're going to sort them by priority. So if you applied for both a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom, you're going to have a placement on both of those waiting lists.
Okay.
Your placement will be different on both because there's local preference on one waiting list and not on the other.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And then my last question, and I'll stop bothering you with 21
No,
questions.
no problem.
So then when we gave you our number just now and you told us the location, like what number we were drawn or something like that, is that relevant to anything, or like how does that come into play?
Yeah,
So
I mean, when I sort the results tonight, say you're a type 3 household and you're the first local preference household to be drawn, and you qualify for the local preference 1-bedroom unit, you're going to be number 1 on that list. But if you're, there's a lot of people on the list who are not type 3. There's a lot of people who aren't local preference. So I just have to sort them based off of the different circumstances there, and keeping in mind the order of priority that's on your screen right now. So
Okay,
in general, if your number was drawn early, meaning you're one of the top households that you just saw, in general, you'll probably have a more favorable position on the waiting list, but it just kind of depends. So 2-bedroom, there's a question here, 2-bedroom and 3 bedrooms are in the same place or different place. I'm assuming you mean location. They're all located close to one another on Hollis Street. Hold on 1 second here. No, at Blueberry Hill Estate, sorry. So I don't think they're next to one another. They're within the same development at Blueberry Hill, but they are not, they're not side by side. And if you're talking about the 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom waiting list placement, you may have a different priority. A different placement on those waiting lists if you are qualified for both of those units. Any other questions? Like I said, you're gonna have an email from me tonight, and it's going to have the waiting list attached. You're going to see if you're one of the top households that is highlighted in green. If you are, you'll get another email from us asking that you submit your documentation to us so we can move forward in the process. If you're not one of those top households that is highlighted on the waiting list, unfortunately, you won't be asked to move forward at this time. But if applicants ahead of you on the waiting list drop off, then you could be contacted in the future. So if there aren't any other questions, I'll let you go. And again, keep an eye on your email. So just one more question here. Are there just as many type 2 and type 3 households as type 3? How does it break down? So that information is going to be in the email I send to you as well, but I can show you on the screen right now the document that you'll be receiving. Can you see that here? So I'm sharing my screen, but I can't tell. So it gives you the breakdown here for the 2-bedroom condo. There were 70 type 2 or type 3 households on that waiting list. Those have the same priority, type 2 and type 3 households. And there were 41 type 1 households. For the 3-bedroom condo, there were 60 type 3 households, 24 type 2 households, and 11 type 1 households. So there was quite a few type 2 and type 3 households in this one. Yep, can I show the local list one more time before ending? Sure. So this is the local drawing. I'm gonna make it slightly smaller just so all of them fit on the screen here. Well, I'm not gonna make it that small. These are the top 17 on that list, and then I'll scroll down a little bit so you can see the full list. There's 22 households on the local drawing. And you can see the order drawn and the lottery application number there. Yep, so you're not going to know right now who's the top who the top households are on the waiting list, because the results from tonight haven't been sorted yet. When they are sorted, you'll get an email from us showing what the or that has the waiting list attached to it. So you'll be able to see where you fall on the waiting list once you get that email. We just have to first sort these results. So the results from this actual drawing don't tell you a whole lot, other than whether or not you were drawn early or late. We still have to use this drawing in order to create those waiting lists. So you'll get an email from me hopefully tonight. If not, tomorrow morning. I'll be working on this tonight, so you guys don't have to wait too long to get the waiting list. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending, and we'll be in touch. Thank you. Have a good night.